My journey started as any journey starts, with obvious foreshadowing. Immediately I turned to River and bid my farewells.
Hi, friend.
With that done, it was time to head up, but first...
The sun is a deadly laser.
Followed by some hardcore parkour. This village really needs some step-free access.
The sun.
Sorry, no more. I made my way into the village, which looked a bit... shit. I noticed one of the locals was getting harassed. Oh, nothing ever happens here. My first taste of combat. And give him the old kick in the face.
There we go, that did the job.
The guy was fine. I introduced myself to the other villagers, and learned slavers kept attacking them and taking their people. Oh, slave masters, always at it with their tomfoolery. It was in this fight that I proceeded to display the greatest combat skills of all time. But nothing gets them quite like the jump kick thing. This move comes up quite a bit. Another villager. You should be safe now. So now it was pretty clear this wasn't going to be a village simulator. Hey, I know I shouldn't trust strangers in bushes. I tried to hit the guy a few times before realizing this is a sequenced event where I have to practice parrying.
That'll show him.
I proceeded to aerial flight jump kick this guy in the head. And that seemed to do the job quite well. I took him down, and then it was on to the next. This guy fell pretty easily too, and that was the first camp. I spotted somebody in need of help. They were clearly injured and in need of medical attention. So, I did the right thing, and proceeded to dance right in their face. His friends had found themselves in trouble. It was here that I proceeded to do literally anything to contribute towards this fight. Eventually my allies died and I had to actually fight these guys. Unfortunately, because I'd been trolling my teammates, I was now 3v1, and one of them had a knife. But I still took them down. My teammates were fine, completely according to plan. Revealing that another one of their friends had been captured, it was up to me to release them. My first course of action was to completely yeet my knife as far away as possible, because, what am I, a pussy? I made light work of the first few, but now I had to go and find my blade. Where did it go? I have no idea what these bozos were up to. Just like last time, my strategy involved very quickly getting rid of my biggest advantage. A decisive victory, and now, at last, time to get my blade again. Up next, a more challenging enemy. A rabbit, with armor, and a knife. To intimidate this enemy, I completely set myself on fire. Take that. Never mind. After sacrificing myself to the fire gods last time, I completely decimated in this battle. Having freed the prisoner, I was now looking for one of the higher-ups, responsible for this slave trade tomfoolery. On the way, two workers introduced me to the fact that there were other animals besides rabbits. Clearly they had more work to do, because this bridge is atrocious. Fortunately, rabbits can jump pretty damn far, and I made my way onwards. I bet you'll never guess where I had to go next. More hardcore parkour up the cliffside made the hunt for the higher-ups of the slave trade quite a literal affair. I think it goes without saying that I aced the parkour first try, so let's skip to the top. Eventually I made it to the top, and to my surprise, I'd found an ally. After pointing out that waiting till night was a complete bitch move, I decided to go in alone. Only 3 guards, and a dog. Didn't really know what that meant, but I could make some interpretations. Not good. So the dog was dead, and so were the guards. The throwing knife I'd practiced earlier seemed to deal with the first 2. However, the third one had some armor. This would be a little tougher. I began with an ancient forbidden technique. Next, I took the high ground. They may have picked up my knife, but that wouldn't stop me kicking them down. And then, at last, the dog. I threw the knife. It did fucking nothing. I needed an advantage to face an opponent this powerful, so I took the high ground. Then, with a move just as slick, I lost it again. But at last I took the dog down. Back with my ally, there's some plot point about a city in the sky, and finding peace, and stuff like that. However, to get there, we needed a boat, and somebody to sail it. Unfortunately, they'd been taken prisoner. A dog with a sword, and 4 guards, all in the same place. This would be more of a challenge than the last dog. If I wanted a chance this time, I'd have to be stealthy. picking off the guards one by one. Dragging away my victims, I'd hide the bodies. Right out in the open where I can be spotted, that is. Fortunately, this made it very easy to take down the second guard without the others noticing. The exact same thing happened again. I dragged the body to the same place and another guard noticed. So, back into the cornfields to do the exact same thing again. But this enemy was a dog. They're stronger, they deal more damage. I had to be more careful with this fight. But I still won. With this one, I found a new place to drag the bodies to. My plan was to pile them all up on this doorstep. I had a feeling something would be going on here later. So far, so good. Easy. After the dog, this guy was nothing. Although on the subject of dog...
What's wrong? Snake! Snake!
This time, I was mad. I said I'd do this quickly. I'm doing this quickly. I went balls deep and went straight for the dog with the sword. I had no plan, and I was clearly outnumbered, so I would have to run, make space, and try to pick my fights where I could. The first attempt wasn't the best.
Oh, straight into the tree.
Oh no, they shoot beautifully.
Neither was the second. Not giving up, I went for the big dog again. He has the sword. That's the master weapon in this fight. If I can control the sword, I might have a chance. At which point, naturally, I completely threw away my knife, because why compete? I rolled just under the sword without even realizing it, and continued to fight off the rabbits. But the dog proved too much to handle. Each time I ran in and tried the exact same thing, over and over, hit the big dog, try to fight the other guys, and hope I don't get killed. As you've seen so far, this clearly wasn't working, but it wouldn't stop me trying again. Failure doesn't matter as long as you succeed in the end. This time started like any other. I jumped and kicked the big dog, knocking them down. I went for the others, but then something huge happened. The thrown sword hit one of the rabbits. Could this be the opportunity I needed? Wait a minute, where did I get the sword from? The battle was starting to turn in my favor. I was still getting beaten up quite heavily. However, if I can continue keeping just enough distance and picking them off one by one, I might have a chance. Taking down the dog with one fell swoop, I suddenly realized I was alone. I'd done it. Awesome. Hey look, an armored enemy. And this time it's a dog, which can only mean one thing. But at last I was triumphant. Screw you, armored dog. So far I'd been letting the dialogue play out, but I accidentally skipped through a bunch of it, and realized that it was speedrun time.
Oh fuck, I just skipped all of the dialogue by mistake. Uh-oh. Oh well. Fuck it.
In my quest for speed, I got in the habit of launching myself into the ocean on the other side.
Oh fuck, not again.
Needless to say, I quickly changed my approach, reverting back to throw my greatest advantage yet again, which didn't work. How about if I throw two weapons? And that time it did work. The ship was basically mine. All I had to do now was take down the dog. No problem at all. All I had to do was take down the dog and the cat. Still no problem. And then we sailed away into the sunset.